The mind acts in mysterious ways whereby once you become aware of them, you can exploit them in others to your advantage and even use them on yourself. Want to know the trick to winning an argument almost every time? What about a subtle way to learn if someone likes you? Or perhaps you'd like to learn a powerful persuasion technique involving the use of doors. Well, that's just the beginning. Discover how you too can rule the world with the top 10 of hackable quirks of the mind. Number 10. Silence for the win. An argument is not won by those with the loudest voice. It is simply lost by those who are most uncomfortable. And if that's not a great reason for outfitting the set of The View with agonizing barb-wire cobra-thrones, then I don't know what is. The key to creating discomfort? Silence. If your opponent says something you disagree with or has turned down your request, simply stay silent. People hate it. And just like the Lord when he created Rosie O'Donnell, they struggle to fill this vast, intolerable void with anything they can, such as fidgeting, nonsense arguments, and often conciliatory statements. Yes, your opponent will actually try to head towards your point of view if you shut your pie hole and manage to stay stum for long enough. Number 9. Benjamin Franklin's trick? Give someone an inch. No, we're not talking about your tragic love life. Neither is Ben. The idiom goes, give someone an inch, they'll take a mile. This tells you that people take advantage of generous people. But due to something called the Benjamin Franklin effect, it is actually you who wants to give more. When you do someone a favor, you overcome a huge mental hurdle. Your attitude towards that person changes and you see future favors as requiring less effort. Ben Franklin neutralized a rival's hatred by asking to borrow a book, which he did, subsequently smoothing over tensions between the men. Strangely, somebody doing you a favor doesn't have nearly the same effect. This behavior also applies to violence, where the aggressor is more likely to attack again than to see the victim retaliate. Do you have a mortal enemy? Then you've got two options. Ask them for $20 or kick them in the nuts twice. Number 8. Copy that cat. It might copy you back. The human mind needs validation. It craves it more than anything. And whether you're searching for articles that mirror your political beliefs, or a pair of shoes that really match your soul, familiarity is a powerful emotion which guides our choices. But did you know this could be used to your advantage to get what you want? You see, supervillains? You didn't need that army of robot panthers after all. You can easily validate a person emotionally by copying their body language or agreeing on minor irrelevant topics before a more important conversation. If you want a raise from your boss, start by talking about something they like. Agree how great it is. Flick your hair back when they do so and then ask for the raise. This validation of a person's own habits and opinions drives them towards liking you and doing your bidding, evil or otherwise. Number 7. Money talks with dissonance. You pay $100 to see a show. Your friend pays only $25. Who enjoys it more? Obviously, we're eliminating random factors like getting laid beforehand or a band member dying, which, if you're seeing Nickelback, would drastically skew the results in your favor. No, we're talking about two identical experiences where one person pays more, and the fact is that person actually enjoys it the most. Why? It's a phenomenon known as cognitive dissonance, which occurs when your brain can't handle a conflict between your current situation and previously held beliefs. You may know you've seen a terrible show and paid too much for it, but your brain won't always accept this imbalance. It will try to bridge the gap by making excuses for the show to resolve this. So now you know how Apple gets away with charging way more for the same laptop with a different sticker. Cognitive dissonance. Yeah, this laptop must be better. It's more expensive. Geek. Number 6. Look on the bright side. If you ever watch Fox News disaster movies or listen to grunge, you'll know that negativity sells. Our minds are impacted more by things which are unpleasant, harmful, or traumatic, even if those emotions are sourced from fictional events, like the aforementioned Fox News. This is due to something called negativity bias, the notion that negative events affect you more than positive events of equal magnitude. You're more likely to remember the jerk who cut you off in traffic this morning than the friend who made you a cup of coffee while you were complaining about him. Consider this paradox. Someone who is dishonest cannot be fully redeemed with an act of honesty. Yet a supposedly honest person will forever be tarnished as dishonest through one act of dishonesty, despite the years of honesty beforehand. Obviously, this is unfair, but arguing so won't get you out of the doghouse for cheating on your girlfriend. Number 5. What's the point? Now you'll know. If you're chatting, flirting, or dancing aggressively in a sparkly leotard at somebody and you want to know if they're into it, a huge clue can be found in their body language. More specifically, their legs and feet. Those who stand perfectly parallel are seen as aggressive. Those who stand slightly pointed away are confident and have a specific goal in mind. If we both stand at 45 degrees to one another during a conversation, that often indicates friendliness and a desire to cooperate. When sat down, if someone's feet are pointed towards you, this indicates a positive feeling, and away from you obviously indicates the opposite. If you're flirting with somebody and their legs are tucked beneath their butt, then they're really not interested. However, if their legs are tucked behind their ears, they're probably interested in joining the circus. So there's that. Number 4. Persuasion with doors. The two most successful techniques for persuading somebody both involve the metaphor of the door. The foot in the door technique requires you to ask someone a small request, which you then add to gradually over time to get what you want. However, it's also used or attempted on you every day without you realizing it. Let me explain it a little differently. If you get someone to complete an action that involves very little effort, then you have a higher chance of getting that same person to complete a further related action that requires more effort. This is used constantly in marketing and sales, especially online. For example, if you want someone to fill out a large form on a web page, a more effective approach towards achieving that goal is to ask them something simple, such as what they want their username and password to be first. After that, then you show them the next page, the one that contains all that meticulous registration information that you now must fill out. Because they've already invested effort in the process from the initial easy step, they will then rationalize that they might as well finish the entire thing. The trick exploits another psychological quirk, which I'll explain in number 2, the door in the face technique, which teaches the opposite, that you should ask for something you know you won't get, as your second request will seem reasonable by comparison. The foot in the door technique, utilizing the behaviors we studied earlier, the initial simple easy task requests, that trick doesn't always work, but it will increase your chances of getting what you want. The door in the face technique works quite well too, but mostly due to guilt. People naturally feel bad for rejecting any request, however unreasonable, so we become more open to something a step down. Obviously, there's subtlety at play here. You can't ask your boss for a 10,000% raise and then hope to hell he'll let you date his really hot daughter. But you can always fantasize about it. Number 3. Sunk costs fallacy, or how to screw up your life. Every driver has at some point owned a car that just ate money. A pile of vehicular misery containing more replacement parts than Mickey Rourke's face. One repair turns into 2. A busted radiator becomes a new head gasket. But you don't buy a new car because that's a waste of money after you've spent so much repairing this one. That, my friend, is the sunk cost fallacy, the inability to objectively identify long-term losses when short-term effects cloud your judgment. We emphasize loss over gain instinctively, so our decisions are guided by negative feelings in our past, not the potentially positive experiences in the future. Would you like a horrible example of this in a more personal setting? Of course you would. Relationships. Many people stay in long-term unhappy couplings because of the time they've sunk into them and the pain associated with a breakup, as opposed to the potential happiness you might find when someone comes along who may be better for you. Someone who doesn't mind that weird thing you do when you fall asleep. You've missed out all because of the sunk cost fallacy. Number 2. The Google effect. For those of you worrying about the psychological implications of Googling your own name, don't worry. We're all narcissistic jerks. Get over it. The Google effect is a recent phenomenon, but one with potentially long-term repercussions. Students at Columbia and Harvard were given information to type into a computer. One of 3 results occurred when they did. The computer told them the data was saved, it was saved into a certain folder, or it had been erased. Students remembered the information which had been erased far better than information they believed was retrievable later, but many did recall the specific folder if given that option. Our brains are seemingly training themselves to retain knowledge about where to find other knowledge, as opposed to the knowledge itself. Is it a good thing long term? Are we becoming more efficient? Or devolving into a race of half-baked robot librarians? Number 1. Happy and you know it? Can you imagine your life if your dreams came true? What if your nightmares came true? Would these events affect your happiness? Well, that may sound like a dumb question, but in 1978, a study by Philip Brickman, Dan Coates, and Ronnie Janoff-Bullman came to a surprising conclusion. They compared the happiness of lottery winners with paraplegic accident victims. Sounds like a pretty mean thing to do, right? Let's compare newlyweds on their honeymoon to a depressed widow eating beans from the can while we're at it. However, with the help of a control group, they discovered that after the initial impact of a major positive or negative effect, humans gradually snap back to a base level of happiness. Perhaps many small acts make a difference to this base level, we simply do not know. But we do know that buying a new Ferrari has the same long-term effect to your happiness as being run over by one. Zilch! Due to the value this video just added to your life, please use the donate button to send me $50. No? Okay. Then watch this freaky yet mind-blowing video about the top 10 unsolved internet mysteries. Click the subscribe button not only for your own good, but because otherwise I'll hate you.